Is there anything worse than low back pain? Just ruins your day. Hi, Dr. Malka here, your chiropractor and acupuncturist practicing in Los Angeles, California. So I'm going to help you get rid of that in seconds through massage, mobilization, and stretches. So one of my favorite stretching tools, and when I did volunteer work in Mexico, I bring it down because it was kind of an inexpensive way for me to give them something that could be very useful for them. So if you have a large spine, you're going to maybe want to spread the tennis balls apart. Since I'm a little gal, I'm going to bring them a little bit closer together. And then this is my Theracane. This, pretty much every massage therapist owns one of these. This is a really amazing tool. Fairly inexpensive, really can get more pinpointed in there, a little more than the tennis balls, and I have a link below for that. So you're going to lay down on a surface first. If your back is really sore, you may want to lie more on a softer surface like a bed. But if it's just hurting a little bit, you can lay on the floor and then put the tennis balls on either side of your spine and just rest your pelvis down on them. And again, if this is too intense on the floor, go on a softer surface. If you're on the floor and you want a deeper massage, you could just raise your pelvis up like this. And then I'm going to just do static pressure in this area. I can slide back and forth if it's more that outer muscles that go up and down the spine, and even rock forward and back. Coming down maybe if it's a little bit higher in the low back, and then just resting on the tennis balls. And again, you could do this for 5 or 10 minutes. I do recommend when you're finished with this, you ice down with an ice pack for at least one time for 20 minutes. And then the Theracane, my beloved Theracane, you'll come in like this, find that tight spot, and it's real easy because it creates a torque where just a little bit of pressure goes in really deep. And you could go back and forth with the Theracane on those muscles. But what I prefer doing, if I'm going to do what I call cross fiber friction, going back and forth, is I just lift my pelvis up and I actually move my body back and forth along the knob of the Theracane. And it's about 1.5 inches or so, those muscles. Or I can also go across the body. Now I'm on the right side of my spine and do a torque up like this. And again, I can rock back and forth if I'd like. And then just repeat on the other side, same side or opposite side. Knee to chest stretch. This is a pretty nice basic stretch, mainly for people who have a lot of pain. And if you have knee issues, go ahead and just clasp your hands underneath and just bring your knees to your chest. And hold this for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. That's true with pretty much all the stretches. And then put your feet down and just walk your feet to one side. You're kind of going to create a C by then taking your head to the other side. And this creates actually a pretty intense stretch on this left side. And again, you can hold these for a while, a minute or two, and then crawl to the other side. And then also bring your head, again, creating that side stretch. And then as you continue to do these stretches, go ahead and tell me what one works for you in the comments section. And then I'll make sure to emphasize that in later videos. And then staying in this position, let's start with some mobilization. These are called windshield wipers. Start off slowly if you're in a lot of pain. And then if you feel like this isn't enough of a mobilization, you can go ahead and exaggerate it by bringing this hip up. And you could even hold it here for a moment and then come to the other side and lift that other hip up and go back and forth gently. And for a general body twist, bring this knee up like this and across the body. And I'm putting my hand here in a cactus because if you're really tight and your arm is like this, the temptation is as you twist, the shoulder will lift, and you do not want that. You want the opposite shoulder nice and solid on the table, and you can do a gentle press down of this hand. And then coming to the other side, leg up and across the body. And you can also twist the head and get a nice neck stretch while you're at it. Get a little 2-for-1 going on. And then intensifying this twist stretch, you'll want to bring your knees up like this, drop them over to the side, stacking one knee on top of the other. And now I can really feel this in the low back. And again, for good measure, I'm going to turn my head to the side. And then to the other side again. We're starting off at the center, stacking the knees on top of each other. And try to see if you can keep your knees even. And you can really feel that stretch in there. And yes, this is another low back stretch. And you might be thinking, your low back is not stretching, it's being flexed. But what a lot of people don't know is you have muscles right here in the front of the spine, often called the hip flexors. They're the iliopsoas, but they are also low back muscles, just like you have neck muscles right here in the front of the neck. And you have to stretch these. A lot of people leave these out. And if this is not enough of a stretch, you can go ahead and come up all the way onto your elbows. But you want to make sure your pelvis is still on the surface. In yoga, this is called cobra. You can probably tell why. And then we're going to go ahead and balance out with a curling stretch like this. And in yoga, this is called prayer. And again, coming forward like this. And you can even just sit here. I know some of my patients will just sit here and, watch TV for 5 or 10 minutes and just relax into this stretch. And then to mobilize, you'll want to come back like this into prayer. And then come up into cobra. Go back into prayer. And then come up into cobra. And to do this with less exaggerated motions, you can just come in on all fours and curl the spine, tucking the butt in, and then arch the spine. And then curl the spine. You can even curl your neck too and get a neck stretch as well. And then arch the spine. And then curl the spine. And just repeat this for about 5 minutes. And if you're in a situation where maybe you're driving in a car and you can't get into these positions, you could do this while sitting as well. Or if you're at your office and you don't want to just throw down on the ground. And again, curling like this and then arching. Curl and then arch. And also, don't forget to do the side to side. So for the side to side, we're going to keep the butt bones on the surface of the chair and then come over to the side like this. And I can feel that stretch really nice in here. And then come to the other side and create a nice stretch. So once again, which stretches work the best for you? Put that in the comments section. That might be like your instant back release. And then go back to it in the future anytime you have low back pain that acts up. And don't forget to subscribe and like.